Hey there, guys. Welcome back to the channel. I'm Matt Wyatt, and today I'm going to review of one of the movies that I've been really looking forward to. It's the new Steven Spielberg movie called Disclosure Day. It's directed by him, and this is the first time in a long time that he's directed a blockbuster movie since Ready Player One, which I thought the movie was very underrated. His last great movie that he put out a few years ago was a drama film called The Fablements, which I loved a lot, and that got an Oscar nomination, and that was his last great movie that he directed at the time. And this is the first time in a long time that he's actually directed a movie that has revolved around alien, like a science fiction alien contact film since War of the Worlds, which that movie was more of an alien invasion movie. But if you want to count Indiana Jones and the Kingdom of the Crystal Skull, by the time you get to the third act of the film, that the aliens were in the film, if you want to count that, sure. But this is the first time in a long time that he has actually directed that it revolved around aliens. And we were all expecting that could this be a Close Encounters of the Third Kind sequel? That's what people have been speculating online for a while before this movie got released. And I will tell you, it's not. It's not a sequel to Close Encounters of the Third Kind. So get that out of the way. Temper your expectations for this one. In this movie, Disclosure Day, you're following a meteorologist played by Emily Blunt and a cybersecurity expert played by Josh O'Connor, who find themselves at a center of a movement to expose government secret cover-ups of extraterrestrial secrets. So, before going into this movie, I knew nothing about Disclosure Day. I knew he was directing a movie that has something to do with aliens and UFOs of government secret cover-ups. And when I saw the trailer, I really liked it. It piqued my interest. But the thing that really bothered me is that it failed to tell us what it's really about. It didn't really tell us what it was about until you get to the final trailer, which gives a little bit more answers of what this movie is supposed to be. That we're following two characters, and one of them who is a cybersecurity expert that was played by Josh O'Connor. He's got a lot of trade secrets of footages of all the things that the secret government has been covering up all these years of seeing the aliens have been coming down to Earth, and then they've been taken and they have been experimented on them and been exploited. And he believes that they needs to be shown to the world. But you have this one character who is the main antagonist, played by Colin Firth, who is in charge of this whole manhunt on Josh O'Connor, who's been trying to make sure that the secrets do not get out into the public. Because if they've known that the aliens have existed and that we're not alone in the universe, then he believes that everything else of humanity would go into chaos and anarchy. Because once the world sees that aliens existed, it's going to change everything. If they've known that they existed, then it's going to change how we believe in our religion, science. That's going to blow everything out of the water once the secret goes out to the public. And I love that whole aspect of it. I mean, it's not far off of what we have in our world today, because most of the government that has been releasing to the declassified files of UFOs, but there's not a bit of official concrete evidence as far as we know. I mean, yeah, sure, there's some footages that has some slight evidence, but not as far extreme to what you're going to see in the movie. And we as an audience are still trying to discover of what this all means and why they were here in the first place. We as the audience are the ones who are trying to discover it. By the time you get to the beginning of the movie, without giving away the context, it feels like you're jumping into the middle act of the film, because there's no prologue, there's no exposition of what this movie's about, or introducing the characters like right off the bat. Like, no, they jump you right into the middle of the action. It's definitely a full-on thriller. The best part of the movie, of the sequences that I really loved, was the train sequences with Josh O'Connor and Emily Blunt's character trying to escape from one of the agents, and they get caught in the middle of a train in a train wreck. And I thought that scene was definitely shot very well. The cinematography was great. The first two acts of the film was great. I was so invested to where it's going to go. And you have another character that is played by Wyatt Russell, that's playing Emily Blunt's husband. I forgot that he was in the movie. You might have saw a glimpse of him in the trailer, but I didn't. I had no idea that he was in the film until he shows up. He does play a good part. I mean, and I will say that the humor does stick to landing in the most parts. And I will say that Emily Blunt's performance was definitely mesmerizing, very electrifying, incredible. she's definitely gonna get an Oscar nomination for her acting. This is one of her best performances she's done in her entire career, and I thought the rest of the cast members, including Josh O'Connor, was definitely great. I love his character, and I feel like that once you get to know who he is, that he's not just some cybersecurity expert that stole trade secrets. There's a lot more to him than meets the eye, and the between the two of them, Emily Blunt and Josh O'Connor, they both have a connection. And they definitely reveal a little bit more of about their past by the time you get to the 3rd act. Now, I will say that one of the standouts of the movie that I really thought was great was, Colman Domingo. Colman Domingo has done a lot of great roles over the years. He recently was in a Michael Jackson's biopic movie called Michael that uh, Michael Jackson's father in the movie. He's definitely an incredible actor that is about to get a lot of Oscar nominations, but I will say that his character definitely serves a narrative purpose that drives the main character's story forward. Colin Firth, who was the antagonist, I thought he did a great job. He doesn't play off a twirly mustache obvious villain. He's a character who's full of complex and there's gravitas to him and you understand where he's coming from, even though you don't agree with them. But I will say that the John Williams score, that which John Williams did to compose of this movie, and I thought he did a decent job. I'm not going to say that it was one of the most memorable scores that I'm going to be humming to, but the way that he presented the music, it kind of felt like we were taken back to the old school classic Spielberg movies, kind of like E.T., for instance, or Close Encounters of the Third Kind. And like I might have said this before, but Steven Spielberg is the GOAT of all filmmakers. He is my favorite filmmaker of all time. He was the reason that he ushered in the genre. He accomplished a lot of great stuff in cinema. He was able to branch out other genres like political drama, historical drama, sci-fi, and so on and so forth. And he's done so much over the years. And sure, some of his recent films in the last decade have not been a hit at the time. Some of them have been very mid, and some of them were better than others. But I will still say that after coming out of the movie, I will say that I really enjoyed it. Now, I'm not going to go out of the limb and say that this is one of my favorite movies of the year and it's one of the classic Spielberg movies of all time and then he's back in a fold. I'm going to say no. And here's why. I thought the 3rd act of the movie fell apart for me. It felt full of plot conveniences that and some of the choices that they made were very odd that I didn't fully agree with and it was like, "Wait, what? How did this happen? How does this make any sense?" And by the time you get to the end of the movie, just when you thought you were gonna get some answers, they cut to the credits. And you're like, "What? That's it? We're not gonna get the answers?" So I'm guessing that this is more of a up for an interpretation. I hate when they do that. Your job as a storyteller is supposed to tell us what is happening and give us all answers and not have us as audience discovering it for ourselves. Sure, it's very challenging and interesting, but at the same time, we're not the ones telling the story. You are, not the other way around. I get that you want to challenge the audience to come up with an interpretation of what you think this all means to you. I get that, but for me, I didn't think it worked. It felt so anticlimactic that it felt like they should have done more. Now, if you're going to this movie expecting it to be more of a Close Encounter sequel, it's not going to be that. And if you're expecting it to be another alien invasion movie, kind of like War of the Worlds or Independence Day style, this is not going to be it. The whole concept of the movie is that we, as the human race, have the question of what's really out there in the universe and are we alone? And it does play a little bit of the trope of that has been done like that before. And once we know the truth, how would we react? Would we and unite the world of humanity, of the human race, or would we tear each other apart? It's one or the other. It's a 50-50 situation of whether you think you're doing the right thing or not. But anyway, for me personally, it was a solid movie. I'm going to give this movie a 7.5 out of 10. I wish they would have done better job of the execution in the 3rd act and especially the ending because I feel like it felt like it was anticlimactic and I feel like they could have given us a little bit more answers. But anyway, that's my thoughts on the movie. Do I think you should go see it in theaters? Yeah, if you're a Spielberg fan and if you like this type of movie, it's definitely going to be for you and you might enjoy it. And even in my theater, I went on to go see it on opening night and everybody in the theater was clapping at the end of the film, which was like, oh, okay, interesting. But that's my thoughts on Disclosure Day. Let me know what you thought about it if you've seen the film. Let me know what you thought about it in the comment section below. Did it exceeded your expectations or did it not? If you like this review, make sure you give it a thumbs up. hit the like button. If you're new to the channel, make sure you hit that subscribe button, turn on the bell notifications so you know when my videos are up. My goal is to reach 1,000 subscribers, so definitely give me the support. I would really appreciate it. Help me reach my goal. And in case you are new to the channel and you don't know, I have a second YouTube channel called Small Zero. It's a collaborative YouTube channel where I co-host alongside with Ryan Cam and 3D Jake. They're good friends of mine. We cover everything that goes around in the world of movies, TV shows, trailers. We even recently been covering some of the games, and we might be able to continue to do more of that if we if ran out of some other news that we cover, and definitely give us support. We've been having a lot of guests recently in our show, and we're going to continue to add more guests as we go along, and we're going to keep continuing to grow the channel. Definitely go to Small Zero YouTube channel, hit that subscribe button. I also add a lot of the clips of the segments that we cover. Most of the clips are definitely the edited version. But if you don't want to watch the entire live stream, you can just look at the timestamp that I put in the video, so that way you don't have to watch the entire stream. But anyway, go and support the channel. If you want to follow my social media platforms, I'm very active on TikTok, Twitter, and Instagram. Click the link tree in the description down below as well. But anyway, thank you guys for watching. I hope you guys have a great day, great evening, wherever you're from, and stay tuned for more of my content.